wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our forum for today. First of all, I would like to thank to all of you for attending our forum. Today, we will be discussing on something that related with our current situation. So, without any further, let me introduce to all of you our panel that will be discussing on our issue today. We have invited 3 panels to our forum. Our first panel is Dr. Izzati, a lecturer from University Utara Malaysia. Then our second panel is Miss Asma. She is a science teacher from SK Al-Azhar. Last but not least, our third panel, Dr. Nur Aisyah, a lecturer from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. With me, Fadilah, as your moderator for today's forum. Our topic today is online classes versus physical classes. Which one do you prefer? I have read an article written by Akad 2020 who believes that COVID-19 pandemic disrupted the students' educational process. Most governments around the world have temporarily closed educational institutions in an attempt to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. As we know, the COVID-19 pandemic took the world by surprise. Globally, everything has stopped. Projects have been delayed, workplaces have been closed, and schools have been shut down. However, students continue their education through online learning with their teachers and lecturers. The model currently the best alternative, as keeping school open poses high risk for students. As we can see that our country's universities have adopted this approach, and it is to make sure that even though we face a big crisis, we still can run the education systems. Students, teachers and lecturers, even students' parents are struggling to adjust to the new normal of online classes or online school. Recently, we found out that many college students have expressed their feelings on social media on how stressed they are in taking online classes. Based on the article I have read, the authors Kulal and Nayab 2020 mentioned that according to Isman, students' comprehension, mindset and attitude toward online classes are essential aspects for the success of online teaching. By now, most of us have experienced both physical class as well as online class. So, regarding this issue, let us hear our panel opinion. Online classes versus physical classes. Which one do you prefer? Dr. Izzati, which one do you prefer and why?
First and foremost, I want to thank the moderator for allowing me to participate in this forum. In my own view, I believe that physical classes are more beneficial than online classes. As we all know, the COVID virus has been wreaking havoc on the planet for over 2 years. As a result, all activities that need physical participation, particularly educational activities, have been totally replaced by online educational activities. This is due to the grave danger of getting exposed to this lethal virus. However, in my experience, online classes are not easy to adopt and adapt owing to the numerous hurdles and problems experienced in this pandemic situation. According to my observation, one of the most significant challenges that students experience is a lack of access to learning resources such as computer and smartphones. Almost every day during this epidemic time, we observe students who are unable to attend online lessons because they must share gadgets with other siblings who are also enrolled in online studies. Not only that, but there are individuals who are unable to offer the necessary study materials owing to a shortage of funds as a result of the family's financial resources that have declined since the epidemic. Moreover, some students reported that they had no network coverage, while some of them had access to a limited internet network. The effectiveness of teaching and learning activities might be influenced. We know that some students reside in distant places and have no access to a reliable internet network. This makes it impossible for them to enter classroom remotely. This impairs two-way communication between the teachers and the learner. As a result, kids will lag far behind in class. Despite the fact that more and more lessons are being offered online, the advantages of attending actual classes cannot be overlooked. One component of this is derived from ordinary face-to-face encounter with individuals. A classroom setting allows all members of a class to participate in conversation in real time, allowing them to more truthfully comprehend the concept presented in the lecture and reading material. However, one of the most essential benefits of face-to-face classes is the ability to speak with the teacher before or after class about concepts that you have difficulty understanding. In addition, while you could certainly write an email with your inquiry, it might be difficult to express exactly what you are trying to find out when you're not talking to someone in real time and face to face. Additionally, if you had a question regarding a lecture topic, you could raise your hand and ask it immediately now, rather than waiting until the video lecture was complete and hope that you didn't forget this question. This immediate response also aids students who have may been confused to thus everyone benefits from the situation.
Thank you, Dr. Izzati, for your opinion. So, from your point, it did show that you strongly agree with physical class platform rather than online class. I do agree with your point. I have read a research conducted by Marina and Bonacini 2020 titled Coronavirus Pandemic, Remote Learning and Education Inequalities. Their main findings are that the lack of ICT resources, especially a computer at home for schoolwork, are strongly correlated with cognitive losses in all countries. They also state that the percentage of students without a computer at home ranged between 8% in Germany to 10% in Italy, while an internet connection is absent in homes of 1% of students in United Kingdom and 3% in Italy. So, what about Malaysia? Is it more or less than that? Ms. Asma, do you agree with Dr. Izzati that online classes are not easy to adapt?
Thank you to the moderator. In my opinion, all communities should adapt to this new norm and familiarize themselves with online methodology for moving outside their comfort zone. Online learning can make university education and learning in school more accessible, affordable, and interactive. Online learning is defined as learning experience in synchronous or asynchronous environment using different devices such as mobile phone, laptop with internet access. In this environment, students can be anywhere independent to learn and interact with instructor and other students. For students, online classes is much more effective because they can take classes on their own time without having to a tight schedule. Some of us believe that classes like this are effective for long periods of time and students are able to store information longer. In addition, online classes also involve low cost as students do not have to go to classes, find accommodation or be away from their job, especially for part-time students. However, full-time students will also, to some extent, use the cost for vehicle to go to classes and also food that needs to be purchased. Online class is also less expensive. On the other hand, online classes encompass a sustainable program not only able to differentiate education, but also able to be more organized and flexible if measure an aspect of performance evaluation of lesson and learning carried out. The decision made by the Ministry of Education Malaysia has taken the advice given by the National Security Council and the Ministry of Health Malaysia. Various of interesting methods were introduced. For example, the Education TV agenda for 15 hours of Didik TV KPM broadcast, 4 hours of Astro Tutor TV broadcast, and 2 hours of OK RTM TV produced and operated by a joint venture between the Educational Technology Division of Malaysia, Ministry of Education and Media Prima Berhad. The network will be airing educational program for various school subject broadcasts will continue for students who face a lack of device and tools.
Thank you, Ms. Asma, for your opinion. You did mention that online classes are much more effective because they can take classes on their own time without having tied to schedule. I do agree with your point, as there is a research done by Gautam and Gautam 2021 states that majority of students, which are 61%, reported that the online mode of instruction is free from hectic schedule becomes more effective, as it is flexible in terms of time, availability of teaching materials, place, and seating arrangements. Dr. Nur Aisyah, do you agree with Ms. Asma's statement? Or do you have any other opinion?
The first thing, I would like to thank you for the moderator allowing me to participate in this forum. For the moderator question asked by me, I disagree with Ms. Asma's statement about the online class. In my opinion, is that the physicality of the class is more real and easy for students is communicate with educator. Most students lack in productive communication skill. For students, physical class better than online class cause make the learning process is radically different. The physical class is not only easy to deliver in lesson but can do a varieties of physical activity such as workshop, lab, and activity annual school events. For the year 2020, everyone is aware that our country is experiencing a serious health crisis with the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, almost all students miss the physical learning environment in school because learning is now fully online. In my opinion, I prefer physical class over online class have many benefits to begin. Among them is that physical learning is fully focused in the classroom by the teacher. Why I say that is because most students are not focused during learning session in online class. Therefore, the learning delivered by the teacher make them feel boring and they take it easy on the class session. Students may be somewhat lagging behind in learning if they are less focused during the online class because they are learning to be distracted. According to observation, many educators are grappling with the technology difficult which enable and cause stress. If there are any technical mistake in the middle of the live session or interacting with students, they become powerless. Not only that, but it also a challenge for parents to help primary school children to be given attention to monitor them so that online class session can be complete. In today's world, the lack of computer education is a serious problem, so that parents should know about computer education to help children for online class. Time management also is a challenging since online courses take a great deal of time and hard work. Those who are these primary school students need higher attention and commitment as they are easy bored and unable to focus for a relatively long period of time to cope with online class. Therefore, online class not only challenge student and teacher, but also parents play a role in online class to ensure that children can learn well. In conclusion, due to COVID-19 outbreak, online class made more challenging for our educator, student and parent. So all parties play an important role in continuing education even in online class.
Thank you, Dr. Nur Aisyah, for your opinion. I do get your point there. Since I was studying over online learning, as student I get more distracted by other people, family members and cell phones, while physical class we can focus more on studies and having less distractions. Sometimes in online class it's quite difficult to fully understand the lecture and surely we fall behind. According to an article that I have read, written by 10/2020, due to MCO, students' learning styles must change and many of them find themselves difficult to concentrate, lack of interaction, lack of motivation, and need timely feedback from their lecturers through online learning. Dr. Izzati, can you elaborate more on your stand that physical classes are much better than online classes?
Unlike traditional classes, online courses typically need little to no face-to-face interaction with student and instructor. Assignment information is frequently posted online, allowing students to complete them at their convenience rather than needing to attend classes meeting. While this convenience is appreciated, it does not provide the interactive part of traditional classroom that are essential for students to build important interpersonal skills in preparation for their future career. When students are in a classroom, they are frequently asked to express themselves. It is possible that they will be needed to give presentation or speech. They must cooperate cooperatively in groups of people that hold a variety of different points of view. Online classes do not necessitate any of this. Not just that, as we all know, physical classes have a more regulated schedule for students because all learning activities must be completed by the end of the class period. Students were more likely to be assigned an excessive quantity of assignment in online classroom when compared to in-person classes. According to the study, due to the space constraint in the classroom, students have now obligated to complete additional projects such as recording video for presentation, which necessitate them devoting time and sacrificing their physical and mental health in order to complete the task assigned. Student concern and discontent are inflamed by excessive homework and a lack of time to complete homework assignment. Aside from that, they are exposed to screen and experience a lack of relaxation, which both contribute to an increase in stress and severe depression. As a result, physical classrooms are more successful than online classes since life as a student is more ordered and productive due to physical connection between student and educator.
Thank you, Dr. Izzati, for your opinion. As we can see, nowadays, most students spend long hours reading or working on computer doing their assignments, experience eye discomfort and headache, as students assign excessive quantity of assignments with near due date. Based on article I have read titled Facing the Unknown, Pandemic and Higher Education in Malaysia, the authors Sia and Adamo 2021 believes that online learning has brought significant challenges to students. The University of Malaya Association of New York president noted that some students struggle with e-learning as lecturers tend to give students more assignments. So, limiting screen time, get plenty time to rest and do assignment early are definitely the best alternatives to overcome this health problem. So, Ms. Asma, do you have any other opinion to share with us?
The process of interaction can be done at a distance without boundaries and constraints. There are some tips that can be used. Among them are: all you have to do is you have to make a daily schedule by dividing the time to study, complete assignment and other activities. This can create a more orderly and efficient life so that your life and emotion are stable. Next, you need to choose a place that is comfortable, safe and not easily disturbed. Therefore, students should be wise to find an easily accessible internet area so that you do not have to miss anything about the assignment and learning given. To keep your concentration constant, you need to make sure that yourself have adequate rest. Make sure you get enough sleep in 6 to 7 hours a day, as it can have a huge impact on your learning performance. It can also improve memory and more effective thinking in acquiring knowledge. Online learning generally has a lot of opportunities available, but this time of crisis will allow online learning to boom as most academic institutions have switched to this model. Online learning, remote working, and e-collaboration exploded during the outbreak of coronavirus crisis. Now, academic institutions can grab this opportunity by making their teacher teach and students learn via online methodology. Although it is too early to judge how reaction to COVID-19 will affect education system around the world, there are signs suggesting that it could have a lasting impact on the trajectory of learning, innovation, and digitization. The result of this study provides specific recommendations and best practice for future application of online distance learning.
May I interrupt?
Yes, Dr. Nur Aisha. Do you want to say something?
I am sorry, but the current situation in this pandemic crisis presents a lot of risks and make it difficult for students to study and even exam. In my opinion, let's agree with online learning and prefer the physical class because the physical condition of the classroom was introduced long ago. This change caused the learning session to be changed as well, and many of the advantages to existed before the pandemic crisis were performed during the physical of the class. Among the advantages considered by the Ministry of Education with the current situation effect is the examination. Here we can see the examination is only held for the SPM student only. Therefore, learning is very important, the physical way of the classroom, so that students can learn more fun and easily to understanding. In conclusion, physical class are more effective at showing potential for each student compared to online class because a student is more disciplined and aggressive with the surrounding situation and the student intimacy with the teacher. For other students, they take online exam. So, we can see online examination process security is one of the critical challenge. Proper authentication, authorization process should be followed to ensure that the right candidate is appearing for the exam in a secure environment without any malpractice. The system should be able to audit the entire exam process to identify lack of security lapse during the exam process. Here we can see there may be plagiarism by students. Therefore, for other students, there are no exam physical, so here we cannot see the potential of students for each year. This situation has an effect because we cannot know the improvement in learning for students.
Thank you, Ms. Asma and Dr. Nur Aisha, for both of your opinions. I do agree with some Ms. Asma's point that as online learning students, we have to make a daily schedule by dividing our time at home. There is an article I have read written by Ho 2020 mentions that there are two principles guide in the sustainment of daily routines. Primary routines such as regular healthy diet, sleep and personal hygiene should be prioritized over secondary routine, which are including leisure and social activities, exercising and work or study, in order to maintain an overall regular daily living that directly enables positive mental health. Hence, there is no clear answer whether online classes are better than physical classes or another way around, as there are both pros and cons of both approaches. As we can see today, classes were conducted online just because the pandemic forced us to stay at home. If there are no COVID-19, I believe we will still conduct physical classes and we might not have the experience in online learning. Regarding the current situation, only time will tell whether online classes will be a good substitute for normal classes, and if there will be a rising in online educational programs and online universities. That's all for our forum today. I would like to thank to all of our panels for sharing their opinions on our topic, online classes versus physical classes. Which one do you prefer? Thank you to all for attending our forum discussion.